Hello. So I would also like to start off by thanking both Brian and Erin for having this event, for writing books that are now being released. Erin and Brian both have had a pretty big hand in the poet that I've become. Erin in teaching me Farrah Markovitz as well, who is also reading tonight, and who's also really awesome. And Ryan just for always keeping me in mind to invite me to these things. So I am truly grateful for that. Thank you so much. So this first poem that I'm going to read is actually inspired by my dearest roommate, Rachel Bruce, who's here tonight. A couple, 2 years ago, what's that Satan story called? Yeah, she doesn't remember it either, but it's a fantastic story, and it's...
I wrote it, I just can't remember what I called it.
And it's really hard to write about Satan. It's difficult, but Rachel pulled it off really well. She made him into just kind of a believable human being kind of character. So anyways, this is thanks to Rachel, so thank you. And it's called The Devil Eats Grapes. On the Home Goods Network, Martha Stewart smirks how green grapes make the perfect way to chill white wine in a pinch and without watering it down. And this makes him laugh as he thinks how red wine is best served warm. A dog-eared copy of Jane Eyre sits about half open on the arm of his chair, and many think, due in part to his doctoral thesis, that he favors Mr. Rochester, but those who know him know it is the title character herself to whom he feels most akin. Unjust, unjust, said my reason, forced by agonizing stimulus into precocious though transitory power. In his youth, he drunkenly had that tattooed on his left shoulder blade. He hasn't touched whiskey since. He passes an affectionate hand over his bookcase. He's taller than most think, gets that remark a lot, and rubs the dust between thumb and forefinger, and thinks of the lace curtains he grew up with. Visitors wish he'd keep a tidier house, but he likes the way it feels, the way it feels. Thy kingdom come, he purrs. He wrote that line, favors it, and stops just short of his dresser, examining his naked back in the mirror. The tattoo is faded now and needs retouching, but his tattooist died years ago, and they haven't spoken since. This next poem is a poem about a woman, and it's called Until. There's a woman who's the only one dancing, arms above her head, feet slowly stamping the floor the way horses caress dirt, wanting pasture. She's accompanied by a horn player, guitarist, and girl singing, who just moments ago the men were watching, so young and dark-skinned with pretty hair so black, pulled back and shiny because she oils it with shea butter, like her mother taught her. Her voice is husky, settling with dust, collecting between liquor bottles, and the dancing woman weaves it between her arms like water. The skin around her eyes is dipping, like drapes, and her mouth is a web of the times she smiled and certainly the times she's cried. And the men watch her as she closes her eyes, still stamping the ground like she created desire. Her whole body rocks. Her arms are still raised. And so now I awkwardly get to read a poem about my ex in front of my new boyfriend, so that's... Sorry, babe, I just haven't been around long enough. So anyways, this poem is called If I Called You Midas. Should I have called you my king? Should I have slithered out of this skin into one you cast for me? Should I have begged you to touch me again? There is yet some flesh left flesh, the space between my arms, the small of my back. I dared you, my liege, to come, reach farther down my throat. I dared you embalm my lungs, my heart doing contortions right into your palms, and I dared you to kiss me. These teeth are still enamel, this tongue, knotted muscle. Thanks, everybody.